station with attitude. It is still Sports Radio, 88.9 Brila FM, your champions dial. It's a beautiful language Wednesday morning, and the action is still right here. We've come to that point where we take a look at what's happening in society. Yes, it's time to step outside the arena. You'll be called upon to take a look at one thing in particular. Of course, I will give you updates of what's happening in society locally and internationally. But then, of course, I always like to prepare you so you can get your thoughts in proper order and make a contribution. On Twitter, at Brila FM 889, on the Facebook fan page, Sports Radio Brila FM, and of course, you can pick up a phone and dial 0700 0000 889. That is the hottest number in the land. Now, 30 Nigerian girls trafficked to Lebanon have been rescued by the Nigerian mission in Lebanon and relocated to a conducive apartment. They will be part of other 150 trafficked Nigerian girls in Lebanon who will be evacuated back to the country on August 12th. The 30 ladies had in a video appealed to the federal government for rescue. An official of the Media, Public Relations and Protocol Unit of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Gabriel Odu, in a statement in Abuja, said the Lebanese ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Hussam Diab, has discussed the evacuation plans with the NIDCOM Secretary, Dr. Sule Yakubu Basi, who visited the embassy in Abuja. Now, this is becoming commonplace. Yes, I mean, ever so often we hear news about people who've been trafficked, but then the thing is, not all of them were actually abducted. Some willingly, out of their own free will, decided to, go look for greener pastures elsewhere, and it turned out not to be so green after all. Yes, that does happen. And now we're saying, with calls coming from different parts of the world, from Nigerians who are stranded or in one trouble or another to be rescued, well, a lot of people have had calls or are having calls to rethink relocating abroad. Yes, while some still say it's better to go look for greener pastures outside, others now believe it's better to stay in your fatherland, where you can still find a way no matter what. After all, at all, they say, na win shabina in bad. So we're asking this morning outside the arena, which do you think is better at this point in time, in light of what has happened, in light of all the stories we've heard about people who in search of greener pastures have gone to different countries and then they met what they did not bargain for and now needed help to get back home, to come and drink that gari that they were tired of drinking before going. Which is better? Traveling out to look for greener pastures with the risk of running into trouble in a foreign land where nobody knows you, nobody sends you, or staying back and trying to make things work in the country? Right now, which would you pick if you have the choice? Which is better? Going out to look for greener pastures, running the risk of running into trouble, or staying back and trying to make things work? That's what we're looking at this morning outside the arena, and I'll come to you in just a bit, but I must give you updates to let you know how things are going down in society. So I will quickly let you know that the Niger Delta Development Commission has said the Minister of the Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, stands by the list of contractors he released, which contain the names of some lawmakers and ex-governors as NDDC contractors. Yes, the commission said the names emanated from files in the possession of its forensic auditors, adding that it was part of the volume of 8,000 documents handed over to the audit team. Akpabio had, during an investigative hearing by the House of Representatives, claimed that some lawmakers were beneficiaries of the NDDC projects, and he subsequently released a list of contractors which included the chairman of the Senate Committee on Niger Delta, Peter Wabauchi, whose name was listed against 53 projects. Now, with domestic season finished and of course a lot of things going on, the former chairman House of Representative Committee on the NDDC, Nicholas Mutu, was also named by the minister as receiving 74 contracts, as well as a former Delta State Governor James Ibori and ex-Abia State Governor Orji Kalu All the men have denied the allegations, but the NDDC Director of Corporate Affairs, Charles Odile, in a statement in Abuja, said the interim management committee of the commission stands by the list, which came from files already in the possession of the forensic auditors. Interesting. In the meantime, the federal government yesterday said an estimated 20,000 women die every year in Nigeria due to poor breastfeeding. To this end, the government has recommended early initiation of breastfeeding within an hour of birth, exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, continued breastfeeding up to 2 years of age or beyond, and introduction of appropriate complementary food as from 6 months. Minister of Health, Osage Hanire, said that the theme, he was speaking at a breastfeeding week with the team, Support Breastfeeding for a Healthier Planet. He reiterated the importance of exclusive breastfeeding for children and expressing the government's concern that an estimated 20,000 women die annually. He said the benefit of breastfeeding to both mother and baby had been well documented, including giving babies stronger immunity and reducing the risk of suffering childhood illnesses and infections. All right, let me also bring to your attention that 2 secondary schools in Ondo State have been closed by the state government for violating COVID-19 protocols as schools resumed across the state. The 2 schools sealed are CAC Grammar School, Ondo Road, Akure, and the Akure Academy, Obaile. Now, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Akia Sanio, said that the schools were closed for not complying with all the COVID-19 protocols. Sanio noted that students were seen in the affected schools roaming the streets, clearing bushes, and staying in an unclean environment. He said the government will not tolerate abysmal performance of the schools. Yes, that's let you know how things are going. Before we bring you to the subject matter, let's quickly let you know that rescue workers in Lebanon are still searching for more than 100 people who are missing after the huge explosion devastated the port area of the capital Beirut yesterday. Now, that blast killed at least 100 people and injured more than 4,000 others. The whole city was shaken by the explosion, and a mushroom cloud could be seen spreading over the port area. President Michel Aoun said the blast was caused by 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate, which was stored unsafely in a warehouse. Ammonium nitrate is used as a fertilizer in agriculture and as an explosive, so you can say very, well, I don't know if careless will actually underscore the word. Now, he scheduled an urgent cabinet meeting for today, and a 2-week state of emergency also has been declared. The country is observing an official period of mourning, which will last for 3 days, today being the first day of mourning. Very, very sad state of affairs. We'll continue to give you updates as information continues from that part of the world. We're outside the arena on a beautiful Language Wednesday morning. And yes, we're going back to this one. Phone lines are already lighting up. Hits are coming in on Twitter, on the Facebook fan page. And I'm saying with calls coming from different parts of the world, from Nigerians who are stranded, gotten into trouble. And this is becoming very, very frequent. We're saying, which do you think is better? Traveling out to look for greener pastures with a risk of running into trouble in a foreign land, or staying back, jejely, your homeland, and trying to make things work in the country. Bad as it bad, you still see Yarisi or Chinedu say, guy, here may go, give me small food there, make I chop. But there, nobody knows you, man. Which is better? That's what I want to find out from you as we step outside the arena.
When the fans asked for more, we at Sports Radio 88.9 FM gave them 4 wishes and a magical line. It simply means when you call 0700000889, you're routed through 4 different lines. So when you dial the magical number 0700000889, you get through to us on 4 lines. That means you have 4-in-1 chance of having your voice heard on your favorite radio station. So go ahead and start dialing. It's the 4-in-1 package from home of the fans.
All right. right, welcome back, and I have somebody on the line. Hello, good morning to you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, this is on the line.
How are you doing today, Charlie?
Good man, sir. How are your family, sir?
Very well, thank you. Bless the Lord.
Our father in heaven is a great father, always. He takes care of every one of us. Sir.
I mean,
We are preparing someone travel and be better, but to stay in the house and be suffering.
it's better
If you're in the
to go out to
country,
look
you
for...
have to find, yeah, you have to find solution. You can't stay in your country where you are suffering. People will look at it here, oh, this might be. That will decide you are in a travel.
Well, Charlie, you are in a unique position, yes, being that you left your country and you are in Nigeria, and you've been blessed. So it's easy for you to see. What about those who run into trouble?
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes.
We are not traveling out. We didn't know anybody in Nigeria. But God so good every day is under our Father in heaven. He make me better up to today.
Okay.
After the other time, yes, see, you have to pray to the God that as you are traveling, God should be in your front. You never know the church. Yes, if you have the faith that what you are doing, you have to succeed. You will succeed by God's grace. As I'm here now, there's no problem for me at all. No, I came in Nigeria in 1981. So the attitude, I never rent house. Yes, all the people I'm working with, I'm caring for everyone, all the people take care of me. So God grace.
I don't think you should even consider yourself as not being Nigerian anymore. We've assimilated you. Here in Nigeria. Thank you so much. Yes, Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla 4. Rilla, I was saying, in light of the problems that seem to emanate out there now, calls coming in every day, oh, save us, rescue us. Nigerians elsewhere, I said, is it worth it? Which is better now? Staying in your country or risking everything to go out there to look for greener pastures? Collins Oyemachukwu says, well, it depends on the way you look at it. Even people in the country Nigeria get into trouble. Being a cleaner in another country, there is a guarantee of living a better life than being a working graduate in this Nigeria. Well, obviously, you weren't listening to the news I just gave of people who, under the guise of going to clean or doing one thing, they were sold into slavery and now they are looking for help. Is it worth it? Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, this Mark.
How are you doing, Mark? All I need is your name. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm cool. Concerning our people traveling out to look for greener pastures, it's not bad. Even in Nigeria say for one to work. Nobody can go to a place like Maiduguri to look for work, or a place like Northern Kaduna, a place like Kaduna itself to look for work.
But that's still within Nigeria now.
It's only grace. It's only that some people have traveled and made it and will not make it.
Yeah.
That is the situation. If all of us remain here, we have the work we have to do. So I'm only pleading to government also to help to create jobs for our people so that we will not be entering into all this endangering our lives. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, when you say when you say Kaduna or Maiduguri, that's still within Nigeria now. Even if you go to the furthest part of the country, you know that last, you enter Moto, you go reach where you go. Whether it's Abeokuta you're from or Lagos, you go reach there. But can you do that if you are in, you're in UK or you are in Chad? I'm saying, they go Lagos. How? Hello, good morning to you. Yes, let's take your contributions, and they're still coming in. I was saying, which do you think is better? Traveling to look for greener pastures with the risk of running into trouble. You must factor that in, because like the last caller said, some will make it, but others won't. Those that don't, the stories they tell, my Lord, sometimes it can scare you. Should you run that risk? Is it a risk worth taking, going to a foreign land in search of greener pastures? Hello, good morning. Hello there. Okay, had issues with the line, not to worry. You can send a message on Twitter or the Facebook fan page. You can still put a call through. 0700-0000-889. That is the number to dial. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name?
Good. I'm so grateful I got you. My name is Alexa Welcome.
All right, let's hear from you.
Yes, I listened to the last two speakers, and I think they are not making any sense to me. You are avoiding the question that you asked.
Yes.
Number one, why do people want to travel? Nigeria typically, especially the unskilled labor immigrants, they are all traveling because of greed and thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. Now, one thing that those who succeed do not tell them is the fact that what they all pass through, we are all looking at the value of the naira and thinking that because those areas they have better input, better infrastructure. And maybe when you make $1 or a pound outside the country and you change it, you become a millionaire in Nigeria. But that is what they don't tell them is what they all pass through. A lot of Nigerians have died in terms of in the desert.
Yes.
A lot has been sexually abused. A lot has been made to sleep with animals. And they don't tell others this issue, this part of the story. Rather, we are so greedy. I mean, let me say we are so long at food.
I think you need to soft pedal a little, because for some it might not be greed. It might just be out of desperation, having not seen anything. So I want you to temper it. Yes.
What would bring about desperation? Is it not greed?
Not necessarily frustration. Some people have tried to get jobs. Some people have even menial jobs, and it just wasn't working out.
My dear, the fact remains that if you are unskilled, and you think in your country cannot get anything better, and then there is nothing that is taking you out, rather than to go and be a menial job in a foreign land that you know nobody, then it will be foolhardy for you to hit to such a proposition. And I'm not missing it, because I've watched videos of Nigerians, people who have lost their life in the desert, people who have been thrown overboard as storages and all whatnot. So they don't tell them those aspects. Look, we have had cases of people coming from Lebanon that were there to go and do house help. You go to a country where human rights is zero. If you go to UK, America, where they still have elements of human rights, I can understand. But you are going to some hostile environment and you think that your home country is bad. What do you call them? Why are the Indians and the Lebanese? Why are they in Nigeria? Go to Ibadan and see the quantum of Lebanese in Ibadan doing business. Why are they there? Who are the owners of both of these malls? Some of them that came to us. If their own country is 100% excellent, will they come out?
Okay. I must ask you to give way for others to make a contribution, but I want to thank you
very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
It's something we really need to address our people's minds to, so that they know that it is better to be home and sort it out than if you don't have any reasonable skill to offer abroad. But they stay home and sort it out with your family members. It can always be better.
Thank you so much. Yes, it can always be better. Yes, indeed. Valid points being made there. But then, like I said, everyone has a right to express himself or herself, and that's one right we enforce right here. When you get on board, give your opinion. Yes, leave others to theirs. To each his own. That's the maxim. But then, still asking that question, is it better? Which one would you subscribe to? Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. How are you doing?
I'm very well, my brother. What's your name?
Okay. My name is Michael.
Michael, yeah, what's your take on this matter?
Yeah, the matter is very, very, very serious. Only that we Nigerians, those that have already made it or are seeing to chop, cannot understand what others are facing. Because someone that finished school for over 5-6 years, no job. It's that your money and that is eating like that. I will say that we get, but we get tired of you. So you say the person of going outside, you do it. You should not blame me on all this. Some don't know what they're going to face. They don't know what they're going to meet there. That's the next thing.
And that's the thing, that risk. Is it worth taking that risk, not knowing what you're going to face?
That is mainly now I'm tired of this country. You say like see, you go out and even go and try that. I've been looking for a job, submitting my CV, going for interview, but no job.
I still want you to answer that question. Is the risk worth taking? Yes or no?
What? No.
You said no.
Yeah, I said no.
Okay.
I said no. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. She said no. No matter the hardship you think you're facing right here, when you consider some stories, and it's true, not everybody knows the stories. People have died, forgotten, in crossing to some parts. You take means of transportation that are not legal in boats, you get lost overboard, and nobody cares. The others move on. Is it worth taking that risk? That is the question. Outside the arena right here on Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla for Orilla. Let's take this one for the road. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
This is Sunday John right from...
All right, Sunday John, quickly.
Yes, concerning these people traveling abroad. Assuming there is a job over here and the economy is okay, people would like to stay put.
Okay.
People traveling through desert, at least I can be able to remember one of the stories they told me. Most of them die when going through the desert. While most of them go through a lot of torture pain.
So is it worth it? That's the question. Is it worth it?
I cannot take risk of such. It does not worth it. It's better for me to stay in put and look for ways out than to go through desert. So it does not worth it.
Right, thank you so much. Yes, a lot of people in making their contributions saying, if things were good here, if things could have been better, we have, a lot to do. Yes, we do. But then, like one of the callers said, it's not green everywhere. Even those places you are going to, they have their own issues. But you have to take a look at it. Those desperate measures, is it worth taking that risk? I guess this is a conversation we will continue some other time, because time will not let me take any more calls, any more contribution. But then remember, you must do your best. Make hay while the sun shines. Look out for the opportunities. And above all, pray. Pray for guidance from the Almighty before you take any step. It could be a wrong one. Could be fatal. Could prove to be the worst thing you ever did in your life, or the best. Yes, there are two sides to a coin. Whichever it is, seek for divine guidance before you make that step. That's the message I'll leave you with this beautiful Wednesday right here on Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla Forilla. Kelani Abdul Hakim Adeshola is my name. I urge you not to go anywhere. Continue to follow on Twitter at Brilla FM 889, the Facebook fan page Sports Radio Brilla Forilla, and take Brilla anywhere and everywhere that you go. Download the Brilla app from the Google Play Store and the Apple iTunes Store. God bless you. Do have a wonderful time. Let me hook you up with ID Enang, who's of a bent of navigating right about now. Let's go navigating with ID.
Sports Radio. What else could we call it? Sports Radio. What else could we call it?
Get motivated, get inspired, get lifted, get involved. Transform your potential to make that decision today. Corporate Shepherds presents Navigates with ID, airing weekdays on this station at 11:55 a.m. For updates, please follow ID on Twitter and Instagram at IDNang.
This is Navigate with ID, brought to you by Corporate Shepherds.
Welcome, my dear friends, to Navigate with ID. I believe that this program meets you well and that you are alive and kicking. I'm grateful to God for into the space. Yesterday I asked a potent question. What is your reason for getting up in the morning? And so I would like to take you on this journey by using a simple analogy, and permit me to use a certain character who is not tied to any individual, but I'm just using a central character I would like to call Mr. Stewart. Now imagine a sample of Mr. Stewart's mind map. And this mind map has so many items on the map. These are the items. I hope it resonates with you. Number 1, material possessions. Number 2, career. Number 3, service to humanity. Number 4, family and friends. Number 5, children. Number 6, lifelong learning. Number 7, partner. Life partner, that's your spouse. Number 8 there is health. And then number 9, recreation. and relaxation. These are consider them 9 goal areas that Mr. Stewart has, and is his mind map. Now, can you relate to this? Because when we turn around and ask the question, Mr. Stewart, what is your priority or what is important to you? And for each of these items, we want you to enlarge it and put a certain picture or a circle or a dot or a circle or a bigger circle, or let the magnification of that circle indicate how that particular item is important to you. I bet you, just like we see from Mr. Stewart, the biggest item that he raised and he put out there was what? Was about family and friends, children, spouse, health. But the big question, when we actually started asking Mr. Stewart, how do you actually use your time? You'll be very shocked that Mr. Stewart sitting down to look at the time he applies to all of those 9 items, the biggest of it all was career. Mr. Stewart spends 65% of his time on career. The next to that was his spouse. The next thing was service to humanity. This is about Mr. Stewart, by the way. Then guess what? Things that had to do with health, recreation, lifelong learning, possessions, those ones were on the lower part. Are you like Mr. Stewart? Now fast forward to another person, Mr. Edgar. Conversely, Mr. Edgar had possessions. He spent all his time trying to gather possessions. Are you Mr. Edgar? We'll continue tomorrow as we examine what we do with our life and where we are going. God bless you.
And that was Navigate with ID, brought to you by Corporate Shepherds.
Brilla FM on 88.9. The station with attitude.
Brilla FM, Brilla FM.
88.9, got more goals than the number 9, top notch. Singing to the Remy and I only listen to Brilla FM, they stay winning.
Brilla FM, Brilla FM, Brilla FM, Sports Radio.
88.9, Brilla FM, baby.
Nigeria's #1 football game show. Fans Crossfire, powered by Merrybet on your dial of champions. Sport Radio 88.9 Brilla FM every Monday to Friday at 12 noon for the explosive action as Nigeria's brightest and most passionate football fans slug it out and win mouth-watering cash prizes every day. Don't be left out. Be part of the action in the studio or better yet, from the comfort of your home. Simply by calling the show, all courtesy of the #1 sports betting brand, Merrybet, where champions play. To qualify, visit www.merrybet.com to open a Merrybet account. Now, fans Crossfire, where super football fans lock horns.
Fans Crossfire. Champions
Quick win, halftime draw, high scoring half, both teams to score, halftime or full-time results. Whichever way you call it, you can never go wrong with Merrybet.com. Join Merrybet.com today, Nigeria's biggest and most reliable bookmaker. Place your bets on different sports, football, basketball, tennis, boxing, ice hockey, and more all across the world. Register today at www.merrybet.com to win big. Merrybet, where champions play.
Fans
Sports betting just got more excited and rewarded with Merrybet's Instant Payout. Merrybet's Instant Payout is the easiest and quickest way of processing your payouts. Get your winnings in minutes only on Merrybets.com, Nigeria's biggest and most reliable bookmaker, by following the simple steps. Log into your Merrybet account, place a bet, and when you win, simply make use of the Instant Payout option. Voila! Yes, it's that easy with Merrybet's Instant Payout. So, join the winning team and enjoy the best of sports betting in a whole new way. Merrybet, where champions play.
Fans Fans
Let me see you just run up your waist. If you want my money, you must take your body. If you don't, you didn't make me request. Let me see you just run up your waist. If you want my money, you must take your body. If you don't, you didn't make me request.
All right, ladies, welcome to the midweek edition of Nigeria's #1 football game show, Fans Crossfire, powered by our favorite sports betting brand, Merry Bets, where champions play. Merry Bets, the sports betting brand that puts a smile on our faces, rewards you for your passion, all right, your love for the beautiful game, and that's what we do right here on Fans Crossfire. This is the home of superfans every day. Superfans like you lock horns in the name of the beautiful game, football, and today is no exception. My name is Kibati Bankole, and I am the one who maintains the peace. I keep the peace in the studio, right? I'm the match referee. Now today on the show we've got a big one. The last time these two teams squared off recently, it ended in a shocker. One of them did not believe it. They didn't believe their eyes. I'm speaking of Arsenal taking on Manchester City. Arsenal. Okay, I don't know if the win over Chelsea on Sunday qualifies Arsenal as the pride of London. I mean, okay, that one day. But then they're a mid-table club, so I don't. Nah. They have to do better to win back that title of the Pride of London. Because, I mean, you can't have a mid-table club now. And London is a big city, one of the biggest cities in the world, right? One of the greatest cities in the world. You need a deserving team, you know, as a pride of that city. You understand? But Arsenal doing well. Congrats to the Gunners. Defeated Chelsea on Sunday to qualify for Europe. Well done. Yes, so Arsenal taking on City. I mean, one of the biggest teams in England at the moment, at least the richest. It looks like at the moment, flexing their financial muscles all the time and getting away with it. It's Arsenal versus City, and I've got two super fans in the studio with me. Let them introduce themselves. I'm going to start with a fan of the club that's smiling right now, the happiest fans in Nigeria, Arsenal. Introduce yourself, please.
Alright, Lagos, this is the voice of Willie representing Arsenal. So I'm here to actually count just our win, our recent FA Cup win now, so you know now.
Willie representing Arsenal. Alright, City, who introduce yourself, please.
Good afternoon, Lagos. This is the voice of Abe City. I'm here to represent Manchester City.
Abe City representing Manchester City, taking on Willie representing Arsenal. All right, guys, you know the drill, right? It's a game of two halves. First half is a debate. Second half is a quiz. Whew, you guys are playing for 15,000 naira. I repeat, 15K is up for grabs, all right? Courtesy of Merry Bets. Merry Bets will reward the winner of this game with 15,000 naira, and we on Fans Crossfire will reward your team with 3 points on our league table. All right, you get it? And for those of you listening, please participate by calling the number 0700000889 after the first half, or voting for them on Twitter using the hashtag FCF. So tweet hashtag FCF Arsenal to vote for Willie, or hashtag FCF City to vote for Abe. Guys, if you're ready, let's do this. Are you ready?
Yes, you're ready.
Are you sure?
Ready.
All right, let's go. First off, question number 1. Following Arsenal's win over Chelsea in the FA Cup final, do you think it will be the start of more trophies to come for the Gunners? Or will they continue to struggle? They finished, I mean, they won the FA Cup, big. That was a big win, a big result. But then they struggled in the league, finished 8th. But is this a resurgence? Is this a sign of a resurgence for the Gunners? I mean, this FA Cup win, does that mean, will it translate to possibly winning the EPL or the top 4 finish? I'm going to start with Manchester City.
Okay, fine. They did a shocker for City. They beat them and actually they won the FA. But no, this team, they are a big table team. They are unable to even make top 4. This team right now, they are not themselves.
Why? What do you think is wrong with them?
When you check the team as a whole, concerned both coach. They are not just themselves. Now when you go to the back, you see Luis performing. I don't know what he's doing as a defender that couldn't make a decision on his own. Then just making errors. Now go to the midfield. We have Ozil too. Even imagine Ozil that we know to be better. Now Ozil, the past season, I can't just tell.
So you don't see the FA Cup win as a reason for optimism for the Gunners? Over to Arsenal.
I'll just pick some point from what he said now. He said Luis now. That same Luis finished his team in the last match that we meet City. It was so spectacular in that match that City were nowhere to be found. They were just playing Lago, everything anyhow. Now imagine that this is going to tell me say after we finish. Forget that. We beat Chelsea. As we beat Chelsea like this, just look at me. Chelsea after 15 minutes into that match, they don't play any shot on target. That's not just lock them up. Play Man City. Arsenal that was struggling to beat top 6 in the last how many years now? Beat this Man City, beat Liverpool, beat Chelsea. Come on.
Okay. I haven't said all that. Why did you finish 8 on the table?
No, now this now priorities now. We look at our priorities now. Are we going to finish? Should we struggle to finish?
Oh, your priority was not to finish in the top 6.
Yeah, we now went actually now to. If you look at where we started, when we came back from the break now.
Oh, wait, stop. But stop. Oh, hold on. Are you trying to convince us?
Yes.
That you chose to go. Hold on. You deliberately finished 8th, but you didn't want to finish higher on the table because the plan all along was to win the FA Cup. Is that what you're trying to say?
As far as we could, but we also get the trophy. The trophy was the goal.
Hold on. You went as far as you could.
Yes.
And you could only finish 8th.
Of course.
We went as far as you could.
So why does that give you optimism?
Winning all these matches that we struggled throughout the season before.
Okay, the fact that you can beat big clubs is your reason for optimism.
Imagine beating big clubs is now a cup to you. You shock City, you shock Chelsea. It's now a cup to you. You ended up on top 8 on the table. It's as if you sanitize your hand, use it to rub your head. All your sense are flying. What are you saying? You beating people. Why is it your priority? Yeah, you happen to end on 8 on the table.
Back to Arsenal.
All this one we are in a year now, just tears now because I can still remember that 2-0. Is this sweet for my? Is this sweet for my?
When you said 3-0, wait, chop back to back. You know, sweet you.
Of course, what use that correct now? Use that correct and
Oh boy. Let's move on. Next question. Manchester City have announced the signing of Ferran Torres from Valencia. But what do you think the Spanish winger will bring to the City squad? Yes, they've said it's a signing spree. Expect a lot of signings for City. But how do you think this particular signing will impact their team? I'm going to start with Arsenal.
Now, I think that Ferran Torres is actually a very good signing, actually. But Man City was not the team for him. If you say Ferran Torres goes to any other kind of team, West Ham or anything,
like Arsenal.
I will not even say Arsenal because they are signed for City. So you understand that if you have gone to any other club, it will have been better. But look at him; they signed him for 21 million. If you look at even Man City don't even value the guy. Because all the players that goes to do well at City, they are signed for very, very huge money. No player that is signed for very little like that.
Oh, so your problem is that they did not pay more for him.
Not valuing him enough. That's so bad. They don't have any importance. They know that I don't going to produce anything.
Hey, one at a time, please. Don't make me.
So they already know themselves that this guy, we just waste our money. Like all these guys.
Uncle, you're confusing me. You're giving me headache. Can you explain yourself better?
Now, if you look at him now,
you have a problem with the fact that they did good business. They didn't pay more.
They didn't pay more because they didn't value him enough. That's the point.
Wow.
Check it out pass like this. Assuming you get sense for top pass like this, you see now you dey for 8 for table. Maybe the short way short, the enemy can say the short go down.
Can you stop height shaming him? Behave yourself.
Let me tell you this. Imagine you don't say Ferran Torres now good signing. Come say but. Who's English you dey control where they look but good. Now we don't sign this guy. Now check the likes of Fernandinho might go. Aguero now is out of contract next summer. Now Eric Garcia is in talk with Barcelona. Now we already signed this winger. When you pair this Ferran Torres with Sterling and you have Gabriel Jesus at the front, what else do you want? Now the front will be everything. Now you come and say you don't sign the money.
Over to Arsenal.
All these players that he's mentioning now, if you look at it now, he's mentioning on this side. Now Sane is still was in that team. They sold him. Sane that was doing so very well. They signed Sane for so much money and then it produced actually for them. And now this same Sane, you let him go to go sign a Ferran Torres, a 20-year-old guy, who never even proved himself very well. You are now saying you want to. You play with something that is experienced, something that you know of. All these are going the experienced players already. They win you trophies.
So you think
he's not tested.
They don't know what they're doing.
Of course, they are very confused right now. Very confused.
He came and he went. What's the big deal about that one? You come, you go, fine. We sign another player now. We go give us better team. Now you see this sign now. You go Bayern, fine. Bayern play and you go. Now we sign Torres. Now we need to because we need to sign even one attacker more if we sign this after signing this Torres. So, you see,
So you guys are strengthening your team. You know what you're doing.
We know what we need, and we are doing actually that.
You're actually very confused right now. Seriously, very confused.
All right, let's leave it there. Next question. Arsenal are also close to signing Willian from Chelsea after he turned down a new contract from the Blues. But do you think the Gunners were making a mistake signing the Brazilian? Is this a mistake or is this a great coup? Will it strengthen their team? Will this be a fantastic signing for Arsenal if it goes to the Gunners? I'm going to start with City. Why?
It is a poor thing to do. Arsenal already is a dead thing. Why will you sign this Willian that is old already and he's not giving us anything again? You see?
Uncle, let me just explain something to you. You already annoyed short people.
No.
Short people will not vote for you. Now you're annoying old people. Then they listen.
Now signing into that team now, Arsenal is as dead as anything. Now William already will be say experience coach. Why would you want him to come and play in FA for you? You know what?
Wait, are you for real? You honestly think William is not good enough
he can come to Chelsea
to fit into Arsenal's first team?
When he goes to City, he will play better. When he goes to Liverpool,
your problem is the Arsenal.
Why will you go to?
So you don't mind him coming to you?
I don't mind him coming to myself.
Over to Arsenal.
Now, I actually say this is best season so far when he's playing for Chelsea. He's also very well for himself. And if you look at that Willian now, okay, let's look at David Luiz first of all. He came from Chelsea, a centre back also, and he actually has some mistakes. But look at him so far; he's done very well for us. Does very defensive, very good work for Arsenal team. If Willian comes to Arsenal, come on, that's where he's going to win his EPL next season. Confirm.
He will win the EPL.
Correct.
Wow. Over to City.
His best is this season. Willian best. You said
your best is yet to come. He's at 31. Come on.
You said Willian season is what? This season. Now look at this Willian that already know. Played 7 matches, 9 goals, 6 assists. You said his best.
Come on, he's a winger. Come on,
for carrying out that lab. Look at we have the likes of Sterling. Look at these guys. They are scoring and making assists. Why are you saying that is his best season? Scoring 9 goals.
Correct.
What are you saying?
Very nice. Just Sterling now. You are saying that Sterling.
20 goals. 20
Come on, this City lost 9 matches. Arsenal lost 10. They are Sterling. They are calling Sterling.
Okay. Sorry, I'm actually very confused. That's to your point. Are you arguing that Willian is not good enough or not?
He's very Sterling with that Willian.
Oh, hold on, one at a time.
Arsenal, he can actually play.
Okay, so you need to be surrounded by classy, quality players.
Going to Arsenal is as going to a dead thing.
I see.
Oh, come on, Willian that has Aubameyang to finish all these crosses. Aubameyang that has
been already. You don't even have
not bring me. Join Willian to the forward. Wait, Aubameyang don't get already. Because Aubameyang, we only call like 40 goals per season. Come on.
Coming up. I want them to join Aubameyang with.
Forget that team. Willian don't get experience.
All right, guys. Guys, the way the show works is you guys speak one at a time. All right, you obey the whistle. You only speak when the whistle goes off and I come to you. The next person to break that rule will be penalized. Is that clear? All right, let's take a very short commercial break. And when we come back, Fans Crossfire, powered by Merrybet, will continue. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Fans
See, as a sharp Naija guy, also must always play. Yes, I did like this. I don't turn my love for football into something where go dey put better money for my pocket. I don't come Lagos, come Cambridge o. Now why be say all the betting why they do now only for Merrybet? Because now only for there I dey see better reward. My house for Ikorodu, I don't almost finish am with the money I get from Merrybet. So no dey there dey sleep like elephant wey chop salad o. Oh yeah, nobody there go jara.
Yes, so with Merrybet, you fit bet all live matches. Make you for be winner. Now then get the best odds. Then they pay sharp and with better bonus sef. For more information, just go merrybet.com.
Merrybet, where champions play. Fans
of Lagos. You know me. Right now you are dealing with the monster. You know me, gang. You're dealing with the monster. You're dealing with the monster.
All right, welcome back. You're still listening to Fans Crossfire, powered by Merrybet. I've got Arsenal taking on Manchester City today on the show. Abe City representing Manchester City and Willie representing Arsenal. All right, guys, let's continue. With Nathan Ake set to join Manchester City, do you think he'll be the solution to the side's defensive problems? Good. Will this be a good buy or not? I'm going to start with Arsenal. What do you think?
I don't think Nathan Ake will ever be a good buy for City. Now, Chelsea City already are very, very confused now. They don't know what they want. They went for this same arrow last season. They were struggling. They were not even sure of themselves. They were saying, okay, let's go. Now they see that the Bournemouth is actually going down the table. They are out of the Premier League. They say, okay, let us help this struggling Ake. Let us join into the package of the best woman.
What's wrong with him, in your opinion?
No, I think Ake is fine. Going to Man City is very wrong. That's the point. One game bench warmer for club.
So they will not play him?
They will not play him. Look at all they are signed very good players from very small teams. They do not play.
Over to
Just
City.
say if you allow me, if I knock you, you go know where to talk. Why they confuse yourself? Now see I explain yourself. Come in. We have Laporte there. Centre back Laporte, we have there. Signing this Ake now, to me, our defense will be as strong as anything. Now, if we have an opportunity, we sign Koulibaly again. That's the Senegal guys to that back. We'll be as strong as anything. Now, Man City really need that centre back. We need player to sign. Now, signing Ake is the best thing for us to do. Playing him with Laporte, then we have Walker and Benjamin Mendy.
So you're saying he's definitely going to be a starter?
Okay, now you say that they are signing a lot of players. Now so they sign Kayo, they sign Rulli, sign Mourinho, sign Kato, bench all of them, sign Kaka, Pugo, and then just bench all of them. You don't say, how do you want to get for bench? You never use them. You just
so you're saying Manchester City have hold on, you're saying Manchester City have a reputation for wasting players?
Wasting players, they just buy them for more
Over to City. Talking nonsense. Stones and...
Is it lying?
How much you buy Stone?
How is player would they use them now? This guy just saying nonsense now.
You don't give me their players now. Tell me their players they use them for.
Player come put them for bench.
They use them for where?
Willie, final warning. I warned you guys earlier. Finish your point, please.
These players we are using them, we don't buy to put on bench. No, play. They have to play.
All right, final question before the task of the day. Do you think that Mikel Arteta can go on to become more successful than Pep Guardiola as a coach? Based on their performance, let's just concluded season as an example, all right? Based on their performances, managing these two teams and their achievements, who do you think will go on to become the greater manager in the near future? I'm going to start with Manchester City. What do you think?
If you say something, I will say let's give him time. With a matter of time, he's going to improve or achieve that. But no, we already know this Guardiola. This guy is the best coach ever. When it comes to playing, he has the experience, coaching experience. Now, this man, Coach Barca, Coach Bayern, Coach Man City, these guys big trophies to him. Now, he's coming to take a pick up Arsenal December and could only give them FA Cup and drop them 8 on the table. Is this kind of man you're telling me?
So you're saying they are not mates?
Wait.
Over to Arsenal.
Now, if you look at Arteta now, Arteta, this is his first coaching job. And now he's done very, very well for himself. He's won his very first trophy. Now, if you look at him, he started from Barcelona, being actually there. Now, they moved to the main team. Barcelona had money. What did he do? He overhauled the whole team. Now, if you even look at Arteta now, he never touched his team at all. And he's making progress with that team. They never even touched at all. Barcelona, this same Guardiola go to Barcelona. Now, for sure everybody finish. Now, back to City.
And the third way no touch and I make on a date. Assuming the third then use them well on defense. I'm not saying they talk rubbish now. Now look this Guardiola way they talk. When it comes to player he use, when it comes to winning trophy he wins. So what do you want? Guardiola
way they talk say they strong now. What did he win this season now? Only the Carabao Cup. This is the first season he'll be winning just one trophy. I'm telling you that Guardiola.
So you're saying he's on the decline?
Come on the decline. He wins 2 trophies.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh boy. All right, we'll leave it there. It's time now for the task of the day. I want you guys to compose a song to advise a player that your opponent's club wants to sign, telling him it will making a mistake to join that club. All right, advise a player that's about to go to your opponent's team. I think I already know where the City fan is going. Advise him not to try it, all right? Not to join your opponent's team. The better performance will get 2 points from me. I'm going to start with Arsenal. Let's do this, Willie. Impress me.
Oh, okay. My guy, I say they follow you talk, make you they listen. Hey, the City where you they go all born and trash you. Wait till they carry now, when I just grab you. Before they pursue Champions League, man, I just hate you. I they tell you, my guy, not just the look face. This is the way you they carry in a first team. Everything where they do their man, that they just they go. My brother, look for open wire, you no go finish you.
Wait, what are you singing for?
I'm singing for the City player that's trying to go. A player that's trying to go to City.
Okay, well, you're not singing for a specific player.
No, not a specific player. I'm just
Okay, over to City. Let's see how you do. Huh?
William.
Oh, you're singing for William. Okay, let's go.
Waiting you get if you leave Chelsea to go Arsenal. Say you don't crazy, you don't eye happy, you don't smoke shisha. Yes, bad, you see us now, yeah. See, we go pray for you, we go fight for you. Our desires for you is to live several trophies. So about 20 million. How much we go pay? How much is 20?
That was really good. You were both good. Guys, who do you think did a better job? Yeah, I think your performance was you had a bit more charisma in your delivery. I mean, you made me laugh, so I'm going to give the points to City. Well done. Let's go to the phone lines now. Please call the number 0700000089. Hello, good afternoon. Arsenal, thank you very much. 2-1. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome. What's your name and are you voting for?
I'm voting to City.
You're voting for City. Thank you very much. 2-1, 3-1. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Arsenal. Thank you very much. 3-2. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Man City Jare.
Man City Jare. Thank you very much. 4-2. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome. What's your name and are you voting for?
My name is Olayin. I'm voting for Liverpool. Man City.
Oh boy, he's a mad 5-2. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, the
Gunners, thank you very much. 5-3. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. All right, once again, the number to call is 0700000889. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kibati.
Welcome. What's your name and are you voting for?
My name is Ekene. I vote for Arsenal.
Arsenal, thank you very much. 5-4. Hello, good afternoon. Also, please keep the votes coming on Twitter. Hashtag FCF Arsenal or City. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Oh boy. Hello, good afternoon. 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 Uh-oh, what's going on with the phone lines? We've got 3 more calls. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome. What's your name and are you voting for?
City.
City, thank you very much. 6-4. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. Arsenal, thank you very much. 6-5. We've got one final call. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Bati, good afternoon.
Welcome. What's your name and are you voting for?
My name is Obi Zenas.
Welcome, Arsenal. All right, it's all square right now, but let me see who takes the votes on Twitter. Wow. City get most of the votes on Twitter, so it ends 8-6. So Arsenal, you got some work to do. Pick a number from 1 to 20 quickly. Number 7. How many Arsenal players were sent off in the just concluded EPL season? How many red cards did you get? 2, 3, 4, 5.
4.
Wrong. 5. Over to City. Huh?
6.
Number 6. Who scored Manchester City's 4th goal on the 4-0 win over Watford played on the 21st of July? Raheem Sterling, Laporte, Phil Foden, or Gabriel Jesus?
Gabriel Jesus.
Wrong. Laporte is the correct answer. Number 2. Which team knocked Arsenal out of the Carabao Cup this season? Aston Villa, Chelsea, Bournemouth, or Liverpool?
Chelsea.
What? Is that your final answer? You're looking confused. You have a very silly look on your face. Aston Villa, Chelsea, Bournemouth, or Liverpool?
Liverpool.
Time up. Uncle.
Chelsea.
Final. I'm giving you 2 seconds.
Chelsea. I'll go for Chelsea.
Wrong. Liverpool is the correct answer. Over to City.
8.
Number 8. How many Manchester City players were booked by the referee in the 5-0 win over Norwich played on the 26th of July? 0, 1, 2, or 3?
2.
Wrong. 1. Over to Arsenal.
4.
Number 4. How old is Arsenal midfielder Mesut Ozil? 30, 31, 32, or 33?
32.
Wrong. 31 is the correct answer. 11 for City. How old is Manchester City winger Riyad Mahrez? 27, 28, 29, or 30?
27.
Wrong. 29. Over to Arsenal. Huh?
1.
Number 1. Who wears the jersey number 19 at Arsenal? Rhys Nelson, Bukayo Saka, Nicolas Pepe, or Cedric Suarez? Pepe is the correct answer. 8-7. Number 4 is gone.
5.
Number 5 for Manchester City. Manchester City midfielder Phil Foden is from which country? Wales, Scotland, England, or Northern Ireland?
Huh?
Phil Foden is from which country? Wales, Scotland, England, or Northern Ireland? Phil Foden is from which country?
The option again, please.
Wales, Scotland, England, or Northern Ireland?
England.
That is the correct answer. That's 9-7. Over to Arsenal.
10.
Number 10. In what year did Ederson join Manchester City? 2016, 2017, 2018, or 2019? Wrong. 2017 is the correct answer. We're going to leave it there. We're not ready for this today. Arsenal. There were at least 2 questions you should have gotten right in that lineup. Come on, you people have equalized. Well, congratulations to Manchester City. Abba City, you're the winner today on Transfer Fair. You just won 15,000 naira courtesy of Meribet. And 3 points for City on the league table. Let's see if we can pick a home play winner today. Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Welcome. What's your name?
My name is Sheyi.
Sheyi, what club do you support?
Barcelona.
Barca. What's your Meribet username?
Sheyi Nadon. Seyinadon.
Nadon. Seyinadon. All right, pick a number from 1 to 5, Sheyi.
Number 2.
Number 2. Pay attention. Which Chelsea player was sent off in the FA Cup final loss to Arsenal on Sunday? Which Chelsea player received a red card on Sunday? Was it Cesar Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Mateo Kovacic, or Kurt Zouma?
Sorry, the option again, sir.
Cesar Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Kovacic.
Kovacic, sir.
Huh?
Kovacic.
Sheyi, is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're sure?
Yes.
That is the correct answer, Sheyi. Well done. Congratulations. You just won 7,000 naira courtesy of Meribet and a point for Barca on the league table. And that's the show, people. Thank you very much for joining us as always. That's the show. It was brought to you as always by Meribet, where champions play. Till tomorrow when we're back. Take care of yourself, guys. Bye-bye.
Fans
Sports Radio. 88.9, but whatever you do, don't touch that dial.
And now, it's time to join our partners across the Atlantic.
The Voice of America, VOA.
This is Health Chat, a program in partnership with Voice of America, brought to you by Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla FM.
I'm Lina Ahmedou.
As people age, they are confronted with age-related health challenges, including muscle degeneration, sarcopenia. It is a condition characterized by loss of muscle mass, quality, and strength associated with aging. Sarcopenia is experienced by many people around the world. However, the diagnosis rate of sarcopenia is as low in many countries, and a large number of people ignore the symptoms of muscle loss. Research shows that after age 50, people naturally lose 1 to 2% of lean leg mass annually, and 1 in 3 adults 60 and older suffer from severe muscle loss. On the show today, we will discuss muscle loss, and our guest is Sherry Tokas. She is joining us via phone, and Sherry is a pharmacist, author, and certified fitness instructor. Sherry Tokas, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you. Sarcopenia. We know that it is muscle loss, as I mentioned in the beginning, but can you help us understand further what it is?
Sure. Yes, I think it's a term a lot of people probably have not heard about before, but you can think of sarcopenia, the process of muscle loss with aging, similarly to what happens in the bones with osteoporosis. As we age, we know that we start to lose bone mass. Even if you're physically active, there's a difference in how our body is building and losing muscle every day, and the same happens in muscle tissue. As we are getting older, our bodies become less efficient and less able to build muscle, and muscle gets broken down at an accelerated rate. So when you think about it, if you're in your, say, 50s or 60s, or even your 40s, you might think back of how easy it was in your teens and 20s and 30s to stay fit. And you had good muscle tone, and you maybe didn't even have to work at it that hard. But as you get older with each decade in life, it becomes more challenging for your body to build muscle. There's a shift in the equation where you have a greater breakdown of muscle than the actual amount of muscle that's being repaired and regenerated and built. And that can be really tricky, and because as we lose our muscle mass, it's not just a matter of how it affects your appearance and the fact that you notice your muscles are, your skin is hanging a little bit, maybe you're getting more body fat, but there are shifts that occur where you're gaining more body fat, your metabolism slows down when you lose muscle, because muscle is what drives your metabolism. As you lose muscle, you burn fewer calories. People notice when they hit 50, 60, they gain more fat around the midsection. And so there can be a lot of things that happen. Also, chronic diseases, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and a lot of other things can be impacted by sarcopenia and muscle loss.
So we'll get more into this a little later, but let's talk about muscle, because clearly this is what we are discussing. When muscles are being affected over the years. Why is some people are said to be muscle when you look at them, like bodybuilders, for example, and then you have people that are average, but everybody has muscle. So help us understand the difference between somebody who would take the time to build their muscles and they look muscular, and then someone who doesn't have muscle. But in both cases, we all have muscles, and muscles are important for our health. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, so when we think about building muscle and the bodybuilder body type, that's something that is more extreme and doesn't come very easy. Bodybuilders may spend an hour or two in the gym. They are pumping up their protein. They're perhaps taking other enhancing type supplements, but it's a very difficult physique to achieve. I think most people don't want to look like a bodybuilder. They want to just look lean and fit and have good muscle tone. So really, when we're looking at that as, say, our objective, there are 3 key things that I recommend that can help us to achieve a healthy, fit physique, and to help increase our body's ability to keep its muscle and prevent muscle loss. So the three things that are really important to that are, first, to make sure you're getting adequate protein. So we'll talk about what we can do to pump up the best types of protein, supplementing with essential amino acids, and I'll talk a little bit about what amino acids are, why they're so important, and then gym strategies, and I'll talk about what types of things we need to do in the gym, what's going to give you, your most bang for the buck, so to speak.
Yes, and we'll definitely look at steps to prevent and even address muscle loss later. So when we talk about sarcopenia, and again, this is a term that not many people even have heard before. To be honest with you, I haven't heard about it before. I heard about muscle loss. I know what it was, but when you look at, aging, the elderly, very often, it's part of the aging process, which is losing muscles. So at what age does one have to become concerned, even if it doesn't show as with an old person, but at what age should we start being conscious of our muscles and maybe doing something about it?
I think we need to be taking proactive steps in our 30s, really, because that's when it really starts to happen. Up until you reach age 30, there's a balance in your body's ability to build muscle and how the muscle is broken down, that rate at which that is occurring. Once you hit 30, though, you slowly start to break down muscle faster than you're rebuilding it. And then once we hit age 50, we can start to lose 1 to 2, even some studies say up to 3% of body fat, body muscle, as after age 50. Now, that's if you're physically active. If you're not active, so if you're not doing any type of exercise, you're not working out, you're not incorporating strategies to prevent muscle loss, if you're sedentary, you actually lose muscle at an accelerated rate, so greater than 3%. Some studies say anywhere from 5, 6, 7% muscle mass can be lost per year. So it's kind of, you've heard the term, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's what happens with the muscle. And even the brain, we think about how, we're aware that as we get older, we start to, become more forgetful, and cognitive function may not be as good as it used to be, so we do crossword puzzles and exercises for our brain. We do things to keep our heart healthy. We do activities to keep our bones healthy. We also need to be extra careful when it comes to muscle health, because muscle, again, is much more important. It's not just a physical appearance issue, but if you lose your muscle, it makes it more difficult for your body to regulate your blood sugar. It can affect your outcomes if you have cardiovascular disease or cancer. Losing muscle mass also makes you weaker, so you're more likely to have a fall, an injury, break something. And it can even affect things like sexual function and libido and sex drive and endurance and stamina, things like that. And then the big one, I think I mentioned earlier, that I know concerns a lot of people, is midlife weight gain. When they, you notice that there's a shift going on in your composition. You're starting to get softer around the midsection, more body fat. That's happening partially. It could be due to dietary factors. If you're not eating properly, you're eating too much, not getting enough exercise, but also working against you is this age-related muscle loss. Once you start to lose muscle, you burn less calories. When you burn less calories, you had, say, for lunch is going to stick with you a lot longer than if your body is revving up at a higher rate.
So what are some of those conditions that, I know you talked about some diseases earlier, but talk to us about the conditions that are influenced by muscles and how muscles can improve them in case there's a degeneration there.
Right. So I was referring to diabetes earlier. Type 2 diabetes, which is a condition that affects, more diabetics have type 2 diabetes than type 1. Type 2 diabetes is often hits later in life, although it can happen, in your teens and 20s. It's often tied to lifestyle, not enough activity, not enough exercise, maybe eating the wrong foods, being overweight or obese. Those are some of the risk factors, and then also genetics can be a factor. If you have type 2 diabetes and you have sarcopenia, it makes it more difficult for your body to regulate your blood sugar levels. We know that muscle is actually the biggest user or consumer of blood sugar. So if you have less muscle and your blood sugar, say you have a meal, your blood sugar is high, your body is not going to use that blood sugar as efficiently, so your levels can remain high, and that may contribute to worsening of diabetes and insulin resistance and other things. So the connection there with type 2 diabetes is pretty significant. Also, heart disease. We know that having muscle loss can affect your outcomes, how you do if you have cardiovascular disease. There is some research to suggest that your muscle strength and the amount of muscle on your frame, your body, is actually more important in determining your overall health and your likelihood of death by heart disease than monitoring your blood pressure. Now, we all, go to the doctor, we get our blood pressure monitored. That's important for sure, but some of the newer research is suggesting that the amount of muscle on your body frame is actually even more important. So we know that cancer, if you're experiencing cancer going through chemotherapy, if you have more muscle on your body frame, you're going to do better in treatments. That can affect your prognosis. One of the greatest concerns we have when we're treating people with cancer and chemotherapy is they wither away, they deteriorate, their appetite is down, so they start to lose, their weight, especially muscle mass, especially if you're not exercising, that can be worsened. So, cancer is another disease impacted by that. I mentioned obesity and weight issues, and then hormonal disorders. If your muscle mass is low, that can affect your energy, your endurance, your stamina, and your sexual drive as well.
So, Sherry, when we think of muscle health, what is very critical? Is it nutrition or physical activity?
It's really a balance of both. There's actually the three key factors that I recommend, which is pumping up your protein, making sure you're getting the right essential amino acids, because essential amino acids are what your body uses for the process called muscle protein synthesis, which is that building of muscle. And then we also need to do resistance training exercises. So, if we talk about the first factor, which is the protein, I know as a pharmacist and somebody who talks to people a lot about diet and nutrition, that people, I find a lot of people are steering away from meat. They're going with more vegetarian diets, which can be healthy.
I know. It seems to be a fad.
Yeah, vegetarian diets, people do it for all kinds of reasons. It's definitely a healthy diet. If you have, heart disease, there's concerns about the meat and the saturated fat and all of that. People tend to go with more plant-based diets, and if you're trying to lose weight, it's popular, and just veganism as well is also very kind of trendy. But, whatever your reasons, if you are following a plant-based diet, you have to be aware that it becomes very difficult to get enough protein to support your body's ability to build muscle. So because meat really provides the most ideal sources of the complete proteins, all those essential amino acids. Now, you can get essential amino acids through plants, but you don't get as much of them, so there is a lower level, and you have to really look at your needs, just to maintain your weight. When we look at the recommendations for protein intake, the recommended daily allowance, the RDA, for protein is 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So if you think about that, you can calculate your weight in kilograms. If you take what your weight is in pounds, and say if you're 150 pounds and divide that by 2.2, that's 68 kilograms, okay? So this is just an example. And if you're 68 kilograms and you need to have 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram, then you're looking at you need to have about 55 grams of protein per day. So what does that mean? Well, if you're following a vegetarian diet, it means you really have to pay attention to, loading yourself up with nuts and seeds and chickpeas, peanuts, spirulina, edamame, stuff like that. If you include eggs in your diet, they're a great source of protein. Yogurt, Greek yogurt as well.
Okay.
But really, to increase muscle mass, you need more than that 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram body weight. Some studies suggest that we need about double that amount.
Okay.
So, in my example, I was giving you what the minimum is, that 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. That's the minimum. You need, if you're looking at rebuilding, if you've lost muscle, you want to rebuild it, you got to boost that up. And, be aware that if you're, again, following a vegetarian diet, it becomes a little trickier to get enough protein. And I find women in particular, and studies show this as well, that women tend to be more deficient when it comes to protein intake, whether it's they're eating smaller portions, not enough meat, or, again, following that vegetarian diet, they aren't getting enough protein. So that would be the first thing to look at.
Okay, and we'll talk more. We'll have more of your advice and tips. We have to take a short break, and this is such a critical conversation because a lot of time we don't realize how much we are affecting our muscles, whether it's for good or bad, and we need to take care of it. So we will continue our discussion on sarcopenia and muscle loss in a moment with our guest Sherry Tokers.
Take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, BrilaSports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store. Take Brila anywhere, everywhere on your handset.
Welcome back. For those of you joining us late, we are discussing muscles loss, or with our guest, Sherry Tokers, and she is a pharmacist, an author, and a certified fitness instructor. So, Sherry, before the break, you were talking to us about your 3 steps to addressing muscles loss, whether it's preventing or addressing it. You talked about protein first, and you made such a good point when you talk about the fact that a lot of times we see that women tend to be protein deficient more than men, and for whatever reasons. So talk to us further about what we can do to really keep our muscles healthy.
Yeah, so just to finish up my point about protein intake and women, and I was giving some examples of plant-based proteins. I was talking about nuts and seeds. Peanuts are great. Almonds, cashews, chickpeas, if you can throw those onto your salads, or eat hummus. Spirulina is a good source of protein as well, although it's not as popular for everybody. But edamame, I love edamame as well, or tofu, good source of protein. If you are eating animal products, having Greek yogurt has much more protein than, say, regular yogurt. Also, eggs are a good source of protein, and then, of course, meat. But what I would do is really take a look at how much you're eating on an average day, and if you're falling short, then I would consider taking a good protein supplement. And there are many different protein powders on the market. I recommend something like a whey protein, and if you look for something that is really geared towards your age group, whether you're 40 or 50 and above, there's one that I take by a company called Boomer Nutrition, which is really good, and it has some extra factors in there to help with your body's ability to utilize that protein. So protein is key, and then that brings me to my second point, which is the amino acids. So the reason why our body needs protein is protein provides our body with amino acids, and there are some amino acids that are called essential, meaning your body requires these amino acids, and we have to get them through food. They're not, obtained from any other sources or supplements. So,
what type of food?
So, meat provides your most highest sources of essential amino acids. So if you're eating meat, you may be getting enough of, some of the essential amino acids, but what I have found in doing some research in this area is that a lot of people just simply aren't getting enough of these essential amino acids that are necessary to stimulate muscle protein synthesis.
So you talk about meat. What about those who eat fish? For me, for example, I eat a lot of fish, whether it's salmon or tilapia. Is this enough for as a source of protein?
Yeah, you do get some essential amino acids through fish, but not as much as you would get through if you were eating other sources of meat. So, you really have to kind of write out again what your daily diet is, and then you can go online and you can type in what you're eating, and you can look up to see what your amount of protein you're getting. But the key is with these essential amino acids, they really are what drives the process of muscle protein synthesis. And what happens is if we're not getting enough of certain amino acids, our body is not able to optimally rebuild and repair and regenerate and stimulate that muscle protein synthesis. So what I have found in doing some consulting work and research in this area is that if you can supplement with some amino acids, that can really give your body an edge in terms of driving muscle protein synthesis. And there's an amino acid blend that I was introduced to not too long ago. It's called Rejuvenate. And Rejuvenate, it's a powder, comes in little packets, and it's been shown in studies to increase this process of muscle protein synthesis by about 57%. So that's pretty significant, for the average person who's trying to get enough protein, trying to exercise, do all the right things, but maybe really not noticing the benefit. This could be that key to give you that edge you're looking for in terms of increasing your body's ability to rebuild that lost muscle.
And what about alternatives in case someone cannot have access to that product?
I'll just finish my point there. Okay. What I was going to say with this Rejuvenate formula, it has been clinically studied. It's been studied for about 25 years. There's 17 clinical studies. And interestingly, most of the research was done on people that were not getting a lot of exercise. They were, say, recovering from surgery. And we know that when people are not physically active, if you're laid up due to a surgery or an injury, you start to lose your muscle and you start to lose bone. So some of the really fascinating research was done on people that weren't necessarily exercising or moving, but were still able to increase their muscle mass by using this particular supplement formula, this amino acid formula. So that you can find in Walmart. It's also online. RejuvenateMuscle.com is the website if you do want to take a look at. There's some really fascinating information there about how this can work to boost muscle protein synthesis. So for people that are again looking for that edge, this is really, I think, a good solution. And the third factor that's really essential is exercise. And, we all hear that it's important to exercise for a lot of reasons. Good for your heart, good for your brain, good for your sleep. But it's really important for your muscles that you do exercises that will stimulate muscle growth. And those exercises are resistance training exercises, so working out with weights or tubes like exercise bands, or even using your own body weight as resistance. Those types of exercises are the most effective for stimulating muscle growth. So compared to, for example, aerobic activities, walking, swimming, bike riding, great exercises for your heart, for stimulating blood flow and circulation, but those exercises don't strain the muscles in the same way as doing focused exercises with weights or tubing. So as a former fitness instructor, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of people about just ways they can include more exercise into their daily routine. Not necessarily going to a gym. If you can go to a gym, that's great. But if you can't, you don't have the means or it's not convenient, you go into, any old store, you can pick up some light hand weights, some tubes. You can use your own body weight. push-ups, squats, lunges, sit-ups, things like that. Those are resistance exercises.
So how much of it do we need? Does it depend on the gender, the age, where we are in terms of our health? Because when it comes to exercise, I mean, I think a lot of people will agree that not many people want to go to the gym and want to exercise in general. You know, not a lot of people are inclined to doing some exercise routines. So how much of it do we need?
Yeah, so I would start, if you're currently not exercising at all, even starting with, say, 5-10 minutes a day is a big step in the right direction. And you can do that, again, in your own home. So if you're not physically fit, if you haven't been exercising, you want to be careful. Start slow, gradually increase the amount of weight you're using. You can do squats, lunges. You can, go beside a chair for support and to help with balance. And you can look online. There's tons of examples of ways that you can get fit doing exercises with little to no equipment. And I would say aim for at least 4 sessions a week and try to do maybe 20 to 30 minutes. That would be your goal. But if you're not exercising right now, again, we don't start with 20 or 30 minutes. Start with, say, 5 or 10 minutes and gradually increase as your body's able to handle it. So I think that's really key, because if you do those 3 things, that trifecta of increasing your protein, taking the amino acids, and hitting the gym or getting some resistance exercises, that's really going to be the best way to improve your body's ability to build muscle.
So what is the takeaway, Sherry Torkers, before we wrap? What would you like people to take away from this? Because it's a lot of information that you give us, all of it very, very important. So if we were to summarize it, what would you say? And actually, I would like to, perhaps you can make a distinction between people that are already experiencing muscle loss, like the elderly, and then those of us who are not there yet.
Well, what I will say is your muscle is important for your overall health. So don't think of it as a vanity issue or a physical appearance issue, but muscle is important for your health, your longevity. So we need to be mindful of strategies that can preserve our muscle and build muscle. So if you're currently listening and you're 60, 70, you've already lost muscle, don't despair. You can actually rebuild that lost muscle. And I talked about the 3 key things today to help rebuild that lost muscle. Protein, the amino acids that can help to rejuvenate your muscle. You can check out the Rejuvenate Muscle, Rejuvenate Protein Amino Acid Supplement, and then increasing your activities with resistance training. And that advice holds true also if you're, say, listening in your 30s and 40s and you're looking towards prevention. Just make sure you're getting enough of protein in your diet. That's really critical, that you do those right types of exercises, be proactive. It's always easy to prevent things, but again, if you're in that position where you're 60, 70, or 80 and you've already lost muscle mass, it is still possible to rebuild that lost muscle. So that's the great news here, is that it's never too late. And thankfully our bodies do have a remarkable ability to recover and rebuild and repair. We just need to give them the right elements.
We have to leave it there. Sherry Torkers, thank you so much for joining us. It was great to have you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks. And thanks to all of you for joining us today. I'm your host, Lenore Mudu in Washington. Till next time, take care, be well, and strive to make every day a healthy day.
88.9 Brilla FM and Voice of America, a partnership that works.
Brilla FM 88.9, the station with attitude.
Your sports radio goes with you everywhere. Click on www.brila.net.
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yes, anywhere.
Yes, anywhere.
And we are with you.
And we are with you everywhere.
take Brila anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brila with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brila app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brila football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brila FM, Brila.net, Sports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brila, B-R-I-L-A. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store. Take Brila anywhere, everywhere on your handset.
Welcome, it's a Lunch Sports Show right here on Brila, the voice of the Lance, most revered striker, back on the mic this wonderful afternoon time. Once again, to thump in the goals time to do justice to the business of the day. On the show today, we will go to Saudi Arabia. Okemuti Oda will be my guest on the show right there. He's got a game tomorrow as the Saudi League resumes. On the show today, Mikel Agu will also join. Yes, we hope time will be our friend. That's because I've got a guest in the studio right here for those watching live on Facebook. Definitely, you got to feel it. We'll be talking about supportership right here, and a whole lot of issues will be thrashed. He's the president of the Authentic Nigerian Football Supporters Club. I'm talking about Abayomi Ogujimi. We got to talk to us. We name us Bonfrey.
My friend Raji, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. Welcome on the show today. It's time to power on. You can join us live on Facebook, Sports Radio, Brila FM. That is the Facebook fan page on Twitter at Brila FM 889. I'm the Lance Deadliest and Topmost Striker with lightning shots. And I'm always in jersey number 299. It's time to set sail once again. Now come with me. Let's head straight as we grab us a little bit of this and that. Let's go. Starting off from Italy, where we hear indeed some action. One man is saying everything will be done to ensure things go well for his side. Inter Milan. I'm talking about Antonio Conte, the gaffer right there at Inter Milan. Now come, you know it's all about games to go down in the Europa League this wonderful Wednesday. But Inter coach Antonio Conte has vowed to do everything in his power to win the Europa League this month, starting with the match against Getafe in the last 16. Today, Conte prepares his team to face, talking about the Azulones right there, and wants to lead Inter all the way in the competition, continuing with the final 8 in Germany. Let's move away from that zone where Conte is boasting and expects that things will go well for him. Let's move away from there. We go straight to another zone where one man is saying that nothing will move him away from Crotone. Simeon Tochukwu Nwankwo has told everyone and reassured Crotone fans, I will be in Crotone in the Serie A come next season. No money will sway me away from your love. He's been there since the 2015-2016 season after his adventure right there in Portugal. But right now, he's spent 4 good seasons, went down with them to the Serie B. He emerged top scorer in the Serie B, and he said he's mastered the art of goal scoring in Italy, and he will remain in Crotone to indeed score more goals for them to keep them afloat in the Serie A come next season. Elsewhere, Roma winger Carlos Perez doesn't understand why he had to leave Barcelona, but says he's happy at the Olympico. Paulo Fonseca's men prepared to face Sevilla in the last 16 of the Europa League. And Perez, who scored his first Roma goal against Sagan in the round of 32, has indeed again claimed he was sold to the Italian team, the capital team, against his will. Well, we'll take a few calls shortly and then we power on. But I told you earlier, I've got a guest right here. We'll talk about supportership, and we'll address a whole lot of issues. Before, let's say some 7-10 years ago, when you hear supporters club, there was one face. But now, these days, when they talk about it, it's like boxing. There's WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO. And but first, good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon, my brother, Baba Femiraji. It's my pleasure to be here today.
Interesting. And let me start with this. On the 1st of January 2020, before COVID lockdown and everything, as part of projection into 2020, I remember I had Dr. Rafiu Ladipo live on air. And I asked him, I said, what is in line for Supporters Club? And he said, all factions will unite and they will work as one. Yours is the authentic
Nigerian Football Supporters Club.
And he said, everybody will work as one. So I'm wondering, supportership, is there division in supportership?
Baba Femiraji, my humble self, Abayomi Ogunjimi, the national president of the authentic Nigerian Football Supporters Club, the fast-growing supporters club, the digitalized supporters club, the supporters club that do empowerment and do a lot of creativity and branding for the interest of the nations, and we'll continue to do that and to make this nation proud. In the sense of the supporters club, in this, we should talk, is not a easy task. And for anybody that could have stood up and said you want to take that mantle of leadership to sponsor individuals, Nigerians, to all various matches or powering this cause is not an easy task. So we should give it to Dr. Rafiu Ladipo. He has done a fantastic, human job. You understand? But with time, things have to grow up. You understand? And we need to get better in anything we are doing. There's a history on Supporters Club. There are founders. And he came on board and he really transformed it and brought it to the limelight as well. So from where he has stopped and what he has done, some other people will pick it up from there as well. So the Supporters Club is a continuing thing, is a continuation. It's something that we need to grow. We need to leave some certain analog way to digitalize and grow and expand the brand, you understand? So Authentic Supporters Club has come to put a lot of difference and bring unity in Nigerians and Nigerian diaspora and see that the scope is for every Nigerians, every capable Nigerians that has passion and love for sport in general and football in particular. So that is it. There's no beef, there's no problem, there's no bad blood. All what we are doing is for one interest, it's for the nation, and it's not something that is multi-taxing. You know, the risk behind it, traveling, leaving your family, spending your money, creating time for it. You must have passion, you must have drive, you must love what you're doing, and that is passion that is carrying us, and that is what we have invested into the authentic Nigerian Football Supporters Club that makes it so unique and different. And you can see what happened in Egypt Nations Cup when we are live there on ground. The way the attires, the color, the ambience, what we put into it. You can see that we are on ground from the day one. You understand? You can see the crowd how we pull out, and you know we are there to the tough place.
Okay, I said we'll talk about supportership. What does it take? We're not talking about a particular fashion or no. What does it take to support a team? Because most time we feel we only support when things are going well. That's what we think. What does it take to be a supporter? Who is a supporter?
A supporters club person must be a passionate person that has zeal and power and energy and drive for what he is doing. You don't criticize your players while they are doing bad or when they are not doing well, and you are always, you know, there's between supporters club and a fans. A fans is different from supporters club. Supporters club is the person that is dedicated. Supporters club is somebody that believes in your drives. Maybe you're doing bad or wrong, he must continue to support you. You understand? We don't criticize. We don't sing any kind of a song that will endanger or will turn the players down. Like some fans who in the stadium and we're trying to work against this thing that always sing like, all we are saying, you understand? All those things. No, the supporters club is to motivate them.
But all we are saying, they enter here too. They give them call.
Yeah. But sometimes when it's needed is when we are leading. It's not when they are on pressure too, because them two want to make you proud. But sometimes football is not 2+2. It's not something that we can just castigate them. You can always say, Holy Ghost power, send our power, Holy Ghost power, send our power.
These are we ginger them.
This is what I ginger them. You know, when they are coming in from the tunnel, from the dressing room, you put them jagun lombo, olori ogun, ogbodo keyin ogun, jagun lombo.
Put them in the mood.
You put them in the mood, in the right sense of mind, whereby they will deliver. But when you start castigating them, when you start saying rule to your own team, you know, that does not speak too well. What we need is one love, one Nigerians, and one message. And that message is what motivates them. We are the number 12 person on the pitch, whereby we have to give them motivation and support them to victory. That is the aims and objective of Supporters Club and authentic Nigerian Football Supporters Club.
Okay, another issue I've always had with the way we support in Nigeria. Supporters wait to be supported to support. I think I'm too complex. As a supporter, I'm looking for support for me to support. I want to support the Eagles in Qatar 2022. I'm expecting, and I'm guiding people, I'm expecting support from people, from maybe financial support, to support me to go and support. Let me tell you why I said that was an issue. In Russia 2018, when we wanted to play Argentina, there were too many. So at some point, I asked one guy, that was not even stadium, I said, come. Because I saw that he was like the kingpin there, a lot of guys came around him. And I said, sorry, and he understood a little bit of English. And I said, sorry, I need to ask, Supporters Club is Argentina? I said, yes. He said, well, as he at times travels, he works in Mexico, at times to the US, then back, but his family is in Argentina. I said, how do you guys do it? He said they have like a cooperative. That every member, that all these people, they are from different districts and regions in Argentina. Some of them are from outside Argentina. That they have the amount they pay, they contribute. That even if they don't make it up to that amount, when it's time that they contribute for two major tournaments, the Copa America and the World Cup. That those are the two major tournaments. That even if they don't make it up, they are given like loans because they are backed by small banks, and then they can travel. That's why mechanic, carpenter, You understand? Carpenter did not wait for a big sponsorship. Now money, it take go support Lionel Messi. So that's what I'm asking. In Nigeria, we wait for the big sponsorship. Maybe that the money they cause problems.
Between me and you, Babafemi, the truth is that it's not an easy task here back in the African soil and in Nigeria precisely. You cannot compare the Africa and we are growing and we're going to get there. You understand? So it's not an easy task for them. You understand? You know, the truth of the matter is the way you've said it. We should make a huge difference by having a small scale of savings, and we plan ahead of time, which is what the Argentina has done to achieve that large crowd. But this is Africa that most things happen fire brigade approach that we don't do, and that is the reason why Authentic has come on board to eradicate those things. We have a target. Nigeria is 200 and something million population. We must know our target audience of the people that they really are, that are committed to support Nigeria. In as much the sponsors and people in the that so-called entrepreneurs are not really helping matters. Football is one major sport. It's more or less like a religion that has united all the ethnics in this country. They should come to the rescues of Nigerians and support the supporters club, because what we are doing is a massive project. We support all the national team from the Super Eagles to the under 17, both male and female. Most time we are on air or on the road. There is no time for the family or personal jobs because we are always, and there's no way a sponsor will come into this that will not get a mileage. We are talking about a platform of 1 million plus membership. If we are, the brand already is intact, is there for them to sow the seed on, and they'll give them mileage by branding the t-shirts, face caps, and all that. You can see the way Authentic Supporters Club is trending on the social media. We are diversified. We have changed the face of the Supporters Club. It's now acceptable to people. You now come in Supporters Club, you can get to meet each other, you can network, and you can do a lot. So, I'm sorry, sir. I'm making a point. What I'm saying is that we cannot compare Africa and Nigeria precisely with what Argentina has achieved. But in a gradual process, now we are campaigning for it. You must know the reason why you're joining the Supporters Club. Not for you, for the platform, for you to gain from the platform, but because we're a patriotic and passionate Nigerian that loves sports and love football in particular.
That's the point.
That is what we are doing now.
That is why I asked again.
That's what we're doing.
You tell them that, see, it's not jamboree as usual.
No, it's not like that.
The traveling or great support means you are ready to support.
Yes.
And to support means you are even bringing up. See, if I want to support, at some point, those days when let me even openly say it here before I stopped it.
Yeah.
At some point, because I like Arsenal at some point. Yeah. There's no time I will know I must visit Emirates. I may not even watch a match, but I will pay for membership. You understand?
But my friend, can I come here?
That was when I liked them before I became a sympathizer. Even as a sympathizer, because they see debit my card.
Okay, can I come in?
It means there's something there.
That statement you just made is what Authentic Supporters Club is trying to eradicate. We want to let Nigerians to support our indigenous local teams. That passion that you people are giving.
Even before we get to local teams, I'm saying the same thing can go to the national team through the Supporters Club.
Yes. That is what we are doing now. That we are trying to have that small savings kind of banking system whereby you plan ahead of time, and members should try and as much as possible to know that this Supporters Club of the thing is a thing of what you have passion for. It's not something that you want to come and benefit from. That is what I understand, that we have changed the face of you must have something doing, you must be criminal free for you to be a member of Authentic.
Okay, you actually run background checks on
we'll do background checks about you. You get to know you're under 3-month probation.
And you must know that they have a job.
You must have something doing. You cannot come and be the reason why there's a lot of problem and lapses in the time it's like because they have opened it to the extent that any kind of person just getting to it, they now became pressure, they now became the burden, they now became the problem.
Liability.
The liability. So that is the reason why we need to know who are the real Nigerians that are ready to support the nation with their money and their time. Do you understand? You must be a contributor to this country. You understand? You must make the country. Nigeria is going to be greater than this. Nigeria is the best country I've ever known of, and which will continue to be best. We can do it. Our generation can bring change. We can both together join hands together with good think tanks that have passion for this country and take the Nigerian to a greater height. In my own field, in Supporters Club, is the reason. That is the reason why I've made a huge change. You understand? I have made a huge change and let people understand that Nigerians, we need to do more, because football is one thing that puts smile to the face of all Nigerians, and sports in particular.
Okay. So, in other words, you are saying when you get to the stadium now, for instance, and you want to support. I remember there was one particular time. I don't know if your group had sprung up that time.
I went through the rank and file.
I know.
I'm 20-something years ago.
I understand. No, I'm saying I don't know about that. The issue is they were singing different songs. This one we say, "Oh, Shey Baba." So when you meet at games, how do you coordinate?
There's change. There's a cordial relationship now. You know, whenever we have a match, we come together at the same spot. We sing one song. You understand, and you don't need to project the image of the country in a bad manner. In the Nations Cup, me and Dr. Rafi Ladipo was standing in the same spots. We sang the same song. The other factions too, they came on board. We are there, but Authentic was on the ground, on the floor. That is not it's same to everybody. Everybody saw it. But when everybody came, we are there together and we sang the same song. All what we need is to share the national team to victory. You shouldn't come with your own selfish interest or your own ideology that is not going to help the nation. What matters is that what is the implementation that you are implementing? What good are you bringing into it that is quite different? How is it fast growing and reachable to Nigerians that they will see that what you are doing is quite different from